A number of people have been injured after protesters stormed the parliament in a breakaway region of Georgia. Abkhazia lies in the northwestern corner of Georgia, and it is backed by Russia. Friday's unrest, which was filmed by Russian state television, erupted over a proposed measure that would allow Russians to buy property in Abkhazia. The region's president has reportedly now scrapped that plan. And for more now, I'm joined by our correspondent, Maria Katamadze. She has more on this. Maria, help us understand what exactly sparked this outrage and who led these massive protests in this small breakaway region.
Now, the investor agreement that was brokered by the Kremlin would allow Russian companies to have an 8-year tax break, corporate tax break, and it would allow Russian companies to have exemption from custom duties and enjoy some privileges that, for instance, local businesses are not enjoying, and that's what made the opposition and many businessmen and civil society groups and people angry. They say that the small businesses and medium-scale businesses would suffer as a result of that agreement, and also what is being said at the opposition rallies that this is seen as a sort of an attempt from Moscow to expand even more economically in the Republic, but many people don't seem to be agree with those plans.
We know that Russia recognizes Abkhazia as an independent country. It has a military presence there. Internationally, most countries still see Abkhazia as being part of Georgia. What about the people in Abkhazia? I mean, who do they see themselves as being, and where do they see themselves belonging?
Well, it's a separatist republic, and it is a self-proclaimed republic, and that's why it fought a war with Georgia, and it received huge help with Russia. And as a result, 250,000 Georgians had to flee their homeland. And to give you a sort of picture, today there are 250,000 residents living in Abkhazia. So they are very much close to Russia. They enjoy huge financial support from Russia, and it is very much isolated and doesn't really have any connections with the rest of the world. And what's interesting that it's the pictures and the videos that we have seen from there, it's difficult to get access to that territory. It seems to be stuck in the 90s. The buildings that were destroyed during the war, they're still, they're destroyed. And it seems to be that this republic didn't make any sort of progress in those sort of 30 years of self-proclaimed independence.
And the fact that this plan, which would have allowed Russians to buy property in Abkhazia, this plan has now been scrapped. Does that tell you that Russia's influence there is weakening?
I think it will be interesting to see what is going to be the Kremlin's reaction. Now, Kremlin is watching very closely to see whether the president, Moscow president, will indeed resign, and if the opposition still manages to take over the power, what is the messaging going to be from the opposition? Now, the opposition claims that they are not anti-Russian. These protests are not anti-Russian. So, but some of the MPs. Russian MPs said that even though the opposition says that they are not anti-Russian, the protests, they see it as sort of against Moscow. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see what is going to be the reaction from Vladimir Putin and or maybe his press secretary Peskov. It's still a developing picture, and it's going to be interesting to see what is the development there.
DW correspondent Maria Katamadze in Riga with the latest tonight. Maria, thank you.